Welcome to the Brickfilmers Guide.
Bringing bricks to life.
Welcome everybody to the Brickfilmers Guide. This is the first audio podcast. We'll be just basically reviewing some films and just having fun.
Talking about current events in the brickfilms.com forums, and also maybe giving our new listeners some tips and tricks on animation.
Yeah, I am Christopher, or Chris, also known as Chosen One.
And I'm Nathan, also known as Lord of the Lego on the forums.
Yeah, and just right now, like as a new show, we ought to kind of introduce ourselves. You might know me as the person who worked on a parody of the film About the Door.
Yeah, and I've done several films. I won second place in the Fame, Infamy, and Glory contest with my film Beast. I'm also pretty well known with my two characters, Alex and Derek.
We've just got some minor and major news. Well, not really major news, but it's been going on for a while, so...
Well, I'd say Jay Silver's new kid is major news.
Yeah, that's pretty cool news. From what the article said, though, is that he's had the kid for a while. This is his first post about him, so definitely a new, really cool news story.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and if you want to check out a nice picture of Jay Silver's new kid, you can go to the community forum to the topic titled My Boy.
Yeah. Apparently, let's see, on Tuesday, November 7th, he was born. No, he was born, my bad, he was born on September 20th, 2006. He named him Elliot. So
that's a cool name.
Yeah, it really is a cool name.
Yeah,
and
congratulations.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Jay Silver is, he's the creator of Rapunzel, which is a great movie, by the way, and The Gauntlet, which we will be reviewing that today.
Yep.
And, He provided a really good photo. It's a great black and white photo, so...
Yeah, it's a very good photo.
Somebody has some photography skills over there. Yeah, well, I was going to say this, Math3570 asked an interesting question. I just thought we'd discuss about it. He said, in the thread he asked, it says, all of my figures are new or semi-new, and moving their heads and arm, feet, etc. are very hard. How do I overcome this?
And now, I think this is in the general brick filming section.
Right. Some of the responses have been greasing the joints with oil, which I would never do. And
no, that would be pretty harmful, I think, to the Lego. And
DB suggested that you could just move the joints until they loosen up, which is what I would do, but I was wondering if you had any alternative methods.
Well, personally, I am a Lego fan first and a brick filmer second, and anything done to harm my Lego, I would not do. So the furthest I've gone is to use blue tack to stick my Lego down on my sets.
Right.
So I definitely would not use oil. I also would not purposely loosen up my joints, because once a joint is loose, it's never going to get tight again.
Right.
And if it gets too loose, it's going to flop about and you cannot position an arm. And I have some really old torsos that were around in the 80s that I got out of a garage sale. And they're pretty much useless because the arms flop about, the heads fall off. And so I would recommend that you do nothing. You simply deal with the hard joints, because eventually, if you're going to be brick filming enough, they'll loosen up no matter what you do.
Yeah, and to me, I'd rather have something hard than loose, because at least you can control the hard. If you can push it, I mean, Legos, even at their hardest, are really not that hard. I mean, I've had some really hard Legos from, like, brand new Lego sets, but I've never had one that I couldn't move to animate. I think if you're careful enough and you've got your set blue tack down, you should be fine. I mean,
and I recommend, if you're, like, for instance, animating a walk cycle, instead of using your hands and adjusting the legs and the arms while keeping the minifig on the set, I say just mark where your minifig was standing, take him completely out of the set, adjust his arms and legs appropriately, and put him back down into the set.
Right.
And remove your marker, and then take your picture, and then repeat the process instead of fumbling about in your set. Because I've done that once or twice. I think when I was doing my first brick film, Material Possessions, I just fumbled about in the set, and if you watch closely, you can see props getting bumped, light flickers. I think even at one point the entire set moves. So the easier thing, if you want to avoid that, is to simply remove the figure completely from the set, adjust him, and then stick him back in the set.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I've never had that problem. In every film I've ever done, I've never removed them from the set, except for my first film, which was like full of bumps and stuff. I actually learned to deal with moving them, and I guess it comes with every different animators have different techniques, but I just eventually just moved them slowly, very slowly, not even as proportion as like most of the tutorials say.
Mm-hmm.
But I just will move them with my hands. So I mean,
Well, it depends on the set. Most of my sets
Right.
are really tight sets because I want to pack a lot of detail, lots of props into them, make it look very realistic, which means there's more things you can bump and knock into. So and of course, as you know, it just depends on the animator and his or her style and how they like to animate.
yeah, I mean, I haven't actually put out a film with a bunch of props. I am working on a film right now. I know, a shameless plug, but I am working on a film right now, and it's pretty tight, even though there's not much in there. The camera is extremely close to the Lego, so it's like, geez. Funny news to me. Yesterday, Joymation made a thread saying that he was leaving for good. He posted in there that even though you may think this is another "oh my gosh, I'm leaving and never coming back" type of thread, he says that he's leaving the site forever.
This is what he claims.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts, because they never last ever. He also
Yes, I'd be extremely surprised if he actually never came back.
Okay, and forgive me for mispronouncing any usernames, but because, this is the internet, sometimes it's kind of hard to get the usernames correctly. But he says he also won't be doing voice for Dash, Star Wars Dash, or Alex Stren Lego. And he will not be doing any animating for Costa 456. And he says apparently his reason for quitting is he gets angry and destroys his movie sets. And he's also under the delusion that everyone hates him. But I haven't seen any blatant attacks to him, really. I mean, there have been a couple things where they like, shut up, but, just nobody's really made any hate threads.
Yes, you never, of course, that's only for the forum. You don't know what's going on in the chat room. But I've rarely seen any hate threads at all directed toward anyone.
It's mellowed down a lot. Everything's gotten great. But, I've been here for almost every single one of those. I did a search after, he made that thread just to see how many people actually made these threads, and I've been here for every single thread except for 2. But apparently Joydmation, R&R Studios, Lego Bros, Evan Ellis, or Even Ellis, whatever you want to call him, Comic Green, Scene 9, Dogs Carl at NYC, Are You New or Renew, Drunken Farmer Ben, Bob Page, Logan, Bonsai, Swords Legend 1, Soap, and Wacky 1986. These are all people who've made those threads. And I've been here for all of them except for, I think, Drunken Farmer Ben.
Yeah, he's a pretty old member, I think.
And,
but they've all come back.
Yeah, they've all come back at least once, especially Bob Page. He just released that Worst Case Scenario 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Major return from the dead right there.
Yeah. I didn't find it the best film ever, but it was, for a return film, he did a good job.
I thought it was pretty good. The story was a bit thin in places. Character development was alright, but I did particularly like some fight scenes. I liked how, especially the part when they are in the cafe and the Mega Blocksmen attack. And
Right.
That is a particularly cool scene.
I would like to point out, however, that Soap, who made the thread, his last thread, he hasn't really posted since his last goodbye thread, which is obviously something we all should be thankful for.
Indeed.
But I'm assuming he will come back. And Bonsai, I haven't seen him post too much, or our GoPed guy, so.
But they have posted somewhat.
Yeah, Bonsai actually posted in the, what was it, the BKA, what is that, the Brickfilmers Karma Army, he posted in that, so.
Yeah.
Let's see, we'll be reviewing the Gauntlet. Thank you, Mr. J. Silver, for letting us do that. I was really excited when he replied and said yes, so.
Yes, thank you a lot for giving us permission to review this excellent film.
Right.
We're going to first watch the film simultaneously as best we can and comment on it while it's playing, and then we'll follow up with comments after it's finished.
Right.
Alright, so we're watching the title sequence right now, and I really like how it looks. It's a very nice script.
This piece, every time I see the film, not to interrupt, but it's simply the best piece in the film. I love the clouds, and then
yes, and the lighting from the little window is very nice.
The lighting. So we're at I'm at the 21-second mark, and the lighting is just it's great.
And how he breaks out of his cage is very cool. The chains snapping.
The coughing is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like getting the whole coughing sequence. It's just like wow. And the whole walking and running is just so real. It makes you really feel like he's alive. It's not some stiff animation.
Yeah. And this really shows the vastness of the set. I mean, it's a very large set. So you can see he's traveling a lot. I'm not particularly fond of the use of plates to take up the space, but I understand it's because that would take a lot of bricks if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I really like the flames here, the digital flames.
Right. Yeah, the digital flames were great. The first time I saw the movie, I was quite new, and so the flames were like, wow, And at the 1 minute and 20-second mark, the tapestry there, that gets me every single time. I absolutely love the fact that he can walk without that tapestry just moving, flaunting around.
Yeah, it's amazing. And especially also with the magician, I like the inclusion of non-Lego elements, the magic ball and the tapestry again. It adds a bit of realism.
The effect, I don't know what he uses for the effect, but he does a great job with the little lights.
And integrating it so it looks like it's actually there.
Yeah.
And of course this is the best sequence, one of the best, is when the stone monster comes alive.
Yeah, the golem, right? Yeah, the golem.
Yeah.
But it's breathtaking watching. I mean, I know I sound like a little schoolgirl, but it is the most awesome scene watching this dude run. The slide right here. It's my god.
Yeah, when he turns the corner and then he's
I was off a little bit, but
yeah, that slide is the best part ever. And the second best part is this part right here.
Yeah, breaking through the bricks. I mean, come on, you know how hard that actually is to animate.
I did that shortly with a film for my film Beast, and it is a pain.
Oh yeah,
it looks so much better for this film.
Yeah, he does a great job. And another note, the song is actually 10 minutes long. This guy was able to cut and splice this song correctly without it losing its whole,
And honestly, when the first time I watched it, I would have not known that the original song was 10 minutes long.
Right.
Because this is the first time I'd heard that incarnation of Hall of the Mountain King.
Right.
And it was spliced perfectly.
It's spliced so well, and I've seen my parents, like, they always listen to classical music, and they listen to rock, but they listen to classical music too, and I was always, like, exposed to stuff like that, and so I always remember that thing's almost 10 minutes long. It's a long song, 5 minutes, somewhere in that classical music long range, I guess. But
yeah,
what a great film.
It is. And one last thing, when he's running off, and another use of non-Lego element is the sand.
Right.
The sand does not move, because with any other animator, the sand would have been jumping about because someone would have bumped it. The sand is perfect.
I would like to point out, going through it slowly, it's a pretty fast scene past the sand, but there is some slightly moving sand, but still, I mean, any other person would have just totally screwed that shot up.
Yeah.
That's a
Going
great
through
shot.
it by frame, I can see slight movement, but that's being extremely anal about it.
If I was going to get really anal about it, there's a lot of things you could point out, but the average person wouldn't notice most mistakes. The thing about Brickfilmers, because we animate, we tend to notice all the mistakes, but it's such a great film.
Yeah, and really, even for Brickfilmers, it's hard to come up with any mistakes for this film. I mean, it's kind of like, and one of the great things is this film is an early Brickfilmers, like in 2002 or 2003. You'll be surprised to get a Brickfilmer done in a film in 2006 that looks this good.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't
that's
happen
another
much.
thing. Yeah.
There's only I can only think of two other people that I think